If crypto is going to define the future, I want to be mined, minted, and made in the USA. It's going to be. It's not going to be made anywhere else. And if Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say, it's going to the moon, I want America to be the nation that leads the way. And that's what's going to happen.
In the news, it went slipped under the radar. All the top tech companies, they let go of close to 5,000 employees each, just quietly. And it wasn't even that big public news. And why they laid these people off is because they can replace their jobs with AI.
People that perform functions that are given tasks will be eliminated. The future is thinking. It's not, you can't just bulldoze your way to success anymore.
The monetary system has to, in some way, in shape or form, evolve. Crypto is the next wave, the next movement.
The problem with crypto is that
who's positioned extremely well for this whole bull run in crypto is MicroStrategy. They have more crypto than anybody. They have 500,000 Bitcoin or something. I encourage you to do so you can really enjoy what's going to come in the next 6 to 8 months. What's up, everybody? Welcome to 100 Mil Podcast. We are sitting at episode 6, and let's get it going. I think there's a couple topics that are hot right now, and I think each year has a theme when it comes to it. And right now, what's the theme of this year more so is AI. AI has been a big theme this year, so why don't we talk about it? What's going on in AI? What advancements? What specific things? We're not some insane experts. I'm not some expert on it. But.
Kind of are an AI expert. As of late, you really have dove into it.
Well, I like to stay up to date on specific things, and as some of you guys know, AI has made some really significant advancements this year.
Oh yes, 100%.
Yeah, so, some that come to mind, for example, is to the Tesla robot. There's a Tesla releasing the robot for
fold your clothes,
20-30K. Exactly. Fold your clothes. There's robot dogs, there's specific things that are coming out. There's those large LLMs, a large language model like ChatGPT, and then their competitor, China, came out with this DeepSeek thing. So there's a bunch of different things going on. And
Grok, your favorite?
Grok, yeah, I've been messing around a lot with
What's
Grok.
the other one called?
So there's another one that helps with coding, and it's very good. It's called Claude.
Claude, yeah, you like Claude.
Yeah, so,
Claude came in clutch.
So yeah, so there's Claude, there's Grok, there's all this stuff. And I mean, here, I'll explain a little bit about my experience is this. So, I mean, in the news, it went slipped under the radar, but Amazon and Facebook, Google, or all the top tech companies, they let go of close to 5,000 employees each, just quietly. And it wasn't even that big public news. I guess around the elections and all the stuff happened with Elon and Trump and all this kind of stuff kind of distracted everybody from it, that these big companies laid off people. But the stock market's continuing to rise. And why they laid these people off is because they can replace their jobs with AI. AI can do a lot of the coding, a lot of the developing. So, I mean, my experience, like I said, it was 0 to 100 was I keep hearing about Grok and ChatGPT. I personally never really used ChatGPT at all. I was hey, I'm a fan of Elon Musk. I respect what he's built and what he does. I'm a Tesla, so I do like the quality of his work in SpaceX. I think he's a genius in a sense. But so I was let me try his AI. It's called Grok. I try it, and I heard people on X, Twitter, formerly known, now it's X, that people are learning on how to code and developing apps and stuff like that. There's a phrase for it. It's called vibe coding, which is you don't even know how to code, but you're just chilling with the AI. The AI is giving you the code. You're just vibing, and then you're copy pasting back and forth, and you're figuring it out. So I was let me learn this. I've never coded in my life. All I did was sales and sales types of businesses, and that's all I've had an experience in.
Selling butts.
So I learned the AI first. You have to learn how to talk to it properly and understand to get the right answers you want. Number two is I was like, hey, let me ask it to give me some kind of code that would create like a spinning hexagon, right? Let me ask it for this code. And it gives me this code, and I get this code, and I'm looking at it, and it's like, this looks crazy. It's like Chinese, something like foreign. And I'm like, what do I do with this code? I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. Then I'm like, Grok, tell me, what do I do with this code so that like this stuff will start running and working? Like it'll actually work like a spinning hexagon. Then it tells me, okay, you need to go here to the command center, whatever, paste it, and then it'll run like an application. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So then I learned that, and then I progressed. Again, this all was like 30 minutes. And then I did that, and it's working, it's spinning, and then I was like, can I code a game? Pong, old school Pong, where the paddles are moving back and forth and there's a ball. But I want the ball to be a turd. So I was like, let me try this and see what it does. I tell Grok spits out a code. Boom, it works. I run the code, and now I have Pong. And my wife was looking at it, and she's watching me. She's like, holy shit, you coded this? I'm like, I didn't really do it, but I told Grok told me, and it's working. And then I was like, and this is all in one night. So it's 30 minutes. I learned the first thing. I learned the second thing. And then I was like, can I code an iPhone-based application for solar sales reps that has to do with door knocking, that has geolocation tagging, all this kind of stuff? And I'm like, because we're in our business, we were thinking of, purchasing the software, and that's like $5,000 a month for us to do that kind of software. So I'm like, can I actually develop this myself? And that night, I didn't sleep. You could ask my wife. It's hilarious. I stayed up till like 1 a.m. for the next 3 hours nonstop. Like Grok taught me everything. Download this. Use this, use that, use this. And we just sat down together and really got something that actually works. And now I'm close to actually releasing this, and you've seen it, and we're about to release it.
By the time this podcast is released, it'll be on the market.
Yeah. So, what I'm saying is that's insane. I always thought like coding was a foreign language, and it's incomprehensible to me. You know how we feel. For me, like trying to use a Mac, or if I'm a Windows guy, or vice versa, if someone passed me a Samsung and said, hey, could you like turn on airplane mode?
It's hard to do.
I don't know what the heck. Yeah, we're just like grandpas to it. We're like, I don't know what to do. That's how I used to think about when it came to coding or this or that. But I just sat down and just listened to it step by step. It teaches you in such a nice fashion where I was like, this is insane. There's a window of opportunity. So, that was my experience. I wanted to kind of explain where I went from 0 to freaking 100 in one night and coded an app. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity, and it makes sense why Facebook, Google, all these companies have fired people.
Just had an idea. So that's amazing, that the coding that AI can do. That's a whole like subset that AI can work on.
Correct.
AI for sales. We have all these leads.
Yep.
That software that one gentleman, Beef Bacon, has.
Yeah.
What if we gave that to Beef Bacon to have his AI call and reset all those appointments? You think he could do that?
I think 100% he could do that.
That'd be better than all the people that we're giving it to.
Yep.
Using AI in your business, in a sales-based business, if you're not implementing AI to set appointments or to follow up on missed appointments or to follow up on canceled deals, you're just slacking. It's something that's available. 100%. What is the name of that company that has that software?
It's called Simple Talk. So
it's pretty cool.
They're the ones that have it right now, and they've done it the best so far. No one has it as good as them. I've listened to a call where it will outbound call a cold call somebody, and it will say, "Hey, listen, like, has anyone showed you a way to reduce your electricity bill?" And you cannot tell that it's an AI that's speaking. It sounds human. It's crazy. Voice inflections, everything. It's going to be used to replace cold calling and sales calls. I think
they have no emotion too, so they're not going to ever get pissed if someone's a jerk to them.
Exactly.
They'll just go and call the next person immediately after getting cursed out. You can't beat that. They don't take breaks. They don't stop.
Yep.
They'll just power dial through everything.
100%.
And they don't care if the list is already beaten down by 50 other people. They're not going to complain about the quality of the list.
No, that's a fact. You came from a software, as a platform or software sales background. So, what are your thoughts on, the things that are happening in AI? How's that going to change the industry, or like what effects is that going to have, and what's like software and things like that?
People that perform functions that are given tasks will be eliminated. It's all of the future is thinking. So like thinking will never get replaced by AI in my opinion, or not for some time. I don't know, maybe in the future AI will become, whatever that term is, where it can come up with creative original thought, and then I guess we're not really doing anything then.
Yeah.
But until that day comes, if that day comes, I think like, for example, like in a business like ours, someone calling leads, I think that's obsolete.
Yep.
In a business like IT, writing code is obsolete. The person that comes up with the idea for the app isn't obsolete. The person that secures all the leads isn't obsolete. The person that comes up with the idea for the business isn't obsolete. The actual executable functions that don't require heavy manual intensive labor are getting replaced.
True.
Someone operating like heavy machinery, that will eventually become obsolete. Eventually there will be a robot that does your plumbing, that does your air conditioning, that does your roofs, that does all those services. Eventually all of that will become obsolete. Thinking of ways to use the AI, I think, is the future. There's going to be more people that own different businesses and service that are implemented with AI.
Yep.
It's a thinking economy.
That's true. Yeah.
It's not, you can't just like bulldoze your way to success anymore. Like there's people that, you're talking about some guy that's making like $80K a month that created like an airplane game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I've been following this guy because he vibe coded
An
the
idea.
game. He's never coded in his life as well. He vibe coded it with Claude and I think Grok together. So it's
Grok.
It's called Fly Peter, which is funny. So he created this game where it's
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
like PvP,
while we're talking.
And you can fly an airplane, and it's not just you, it's you and thousands of other people on the server that are also flying. So it's like Fortnite, but you're flying airplanes and everyone's flying. And then he did that game, and then he started selling airplanes. So you can pay like $20 or $50 to have a really cool airplane and be flying that, because some people like to be cool. It's like skins in a video game. And then he
just
went
like
from,
Fortnite.
Exactly. So he went from, I have this app, to let me sell different airplanes so people would buy them so I could generate revenue. And then he went from here and said, let me sell ad space as blimps or skyscrapers or towers inside of this game that people are flying. And it will say Mercedes-Benz over here. And these guys are paying me $5,000 a month for ad space. And then with the ad space and with everything, he's started making $70K a month. And every week he's saying, hey, I'm at $50K a month income now. Hey, I'm at $70K a month income now. Hey, and he's showing the growth, and he's just super public about what he's doing. And it's crazy. I mean, that's one of many things that's happening. I've seen tons of people that are coding applications. They're getting a user client base, 500, 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, and they're selling that whole app or that whole base of clients for like 20, 30, 40, 50K to other companies or other people that just purchase and take. It's
crazy,
dude. This whole AI wave is just crazy. It's jobs are going to be taken over. Just like you said, a lot of things might be obsolete. And Elon says this phrase I think the phrase you were talking about is they call it singularity, when AI gets smarter than humans. Like an expert human that would be known as an expert in something, like the expert of being like a doctor, or he's being an expert in law or something like that. So the singularity would be that AI is smarter than the expert human in that specific industry. So the singularity hasn't occurred yet, quote unquote, but it's getting there. AI is very powerful. So
it is, man. Yeah. What do you think about crypto? Kind of changing topics. It has something to do with tech, right? Yep. You were a crypto educator for a couple of years. Yeah. What do you think about the state of the crypto market?
I think that goes really hand in hand with crypto and AI. Do you remember when we were heavily learning crypto in 2020? The wave at that time was the metaverse wave, right? The last bull run that we had, it was actually the metaverse wave at that time. And that was the hottest thing, is put on these glasses and jump into this, or,
because everybody was stuck at home.
Everyone's stuck at, exactly. I was stuck at home. Everyone's like playing different types of video games and like metaverse style.
Unless you were Gavin Newsom out to eat.
Yeah, without your masks on, right? Anyway. So yeah, that was the theme last time. Now it's like AI, and with crypto, we're at the next bull run. We had the halving occur with Trump, like being fully pro crypto. they're really adopting things that the IRS is even allowing you to pay taxes in crypto and stuff like that. They're going to take XRP, and like certain cryptos have been mass adopted by banks now.
The XRP people have been holding forever.
So they have been holding forever, and that's also going to get mass adopted, and that's when we think of crypto, I think we've always thought the same thing is, the monetary system has to, in some way, in shape or form, evolve. And, crypto is the next wave, the next movement. And, a lot of the fiat or paper dollar used to be backed by gold, but now it's going to be, countries are going to have Bitcoin reserves, and they've already started it. And now those Bitcoin reserves are what's backing their, strength, or their stable coins, or their country. So
it's making me think about what you said the other day. Is there gold in Fort Knox?
Oh yeah, is there gold in
you
Fort Knox?
You brought that up to me.
Yeah.
I didn't even tell him what you were thinking about.
Actually, gold in Fort, this is hilarious. So like Trump brought that up, and what do you call it? So there's been some senators, some high-rated senators that have tried to get into Fort Knox, and they've been denied entry. And they just said, we just want to go and see. Apparently, the U.S.'s gold storage is all hidden in Fort Knox, and countries have their own gold reserves and storage. So, and Trump is part in on the conspiracy in some way, shape, or form. And he's like, well, I want to go there and see, is there any gold? Is it empty? Is it this? Is it that? Well, let's find out. And
there ain't shit in there.
If it's empty, then the theory is that, the government in the past sold it off to either pay off debt or to fund wars or fund things that they need to do in the past. And they're just flexing and pretending like it's there. And if that is true, then that's going to also, in some way, shape, or form, expedite the collapse of the paper dollar system, or expedite, or create some kind of big recession for a little bit of time, something like that.
The dollar's not backed by gold. It's backed by the U.S. military.
Correct. That's true. Yeah.
It's going to flex on you if you don't use it.
No.
That's basically what it's always kind of,
Exactly.
really the last, ever since World War II.
Yeah.
Really, I think the U.S. kind of became the top foreign power by strength of the Navy, really, which I think is super important. But
True.
Diving back into crypto, it's a more efficient way to make payments. That's the number one thing. People say that all the time.
Yeah.
It's just so fast, and there's no fees. Like, I sent 5 figures of Bitcoin the other day, right, to one wallet to another.
Yeah.
Cost me 8 or 9 cents,
Yeah.
or maybe 50 cents, something like that. It was a small sub-dollar amount of fees. It might be 10 cents, might be 50 cents. It was so small that I didn't remember it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whereas with a bank, if I wanted to do a next day wire, it's $5. There's limits on the wire transactions of how much I can send. Same day is $30.
Yep.
And if you're doing a bunch of wires, you're doing payroll. Imagine paying $30 per wire, or you could send somebody crypto for pennies.
Yep.
Each and every single one. It's extremely secure.
Yep.
Everything's trackable on the blockchain. You can't really finesse. The problem with crypto is that so many people were uneducated. People are a lot more educated now than I think during the last bull run cycle.
Very
Especially
true.
with security too.
Very true. People are very educated now this time, and that's why the market's doing some fun stuff to maybe wash out or take people out. But it's inevitable. Countries are adopting it. Bitcoin reserves being made for the U.S. and other countries, and the U.S. government is a top holder in the world, who's positioned extremely well for this whole bull run in crypto, is MicroStrategy. They have more crypto than anybody. They have 500,000 Bitcoin or something right now. So they're stacked. They're very stacked.
A lot of that's on leverage, right? With borrowed money. Well, not on leverage per se, but they raised funds for a lot of
raised funds.
But if it appreciates, it doesn't matter.
They sold stock. Capital company, so they IPO'd, and then the people buying stock, they're using that money to buy more crypto, then they're paying out dividends. So this guy is extremely smart. He did it all at the right timing, Michael Saylor. But yeah, he's positioned massively positioned in a way Tesla or Elon is positioned to be the richest person in the world.
Let's take a look at that. Who's the biggest Bitcoin holders? I'm going to look it up.
MicroStrategy, I believe, is 500,000 crypto. They just said they reached, which is 500,000 Bitcoins, which is pretty wild.
Satoshi Nakamoto has 1.1 million Bitcoin. let's see, who are the largest Bitcoin holders? It says that North Korea has become the third largest government entity in terms of Bitcoin
So
ownership.
Kim Jong, North Korea. So what's
They
been,
have 198,109 Bitcoin.
so what happened with North Korea is so that's another story. North Korea hacked all of their crypto. So first, it's so funny because North Korea used to be made fun of because they were using like antiquated computers that you know the computer we used to have in school with the giant red ball, and like it's really important.
I got all the stats here, by the way.
Yeah, so you know that giant mouse that's the giant red ball, and it's like impossible to use. So there's a picture of Kim Jong with his mouse, and everyone's laughing and saying they got crappy technology or whatever. Then I think he got so mad at that he created this savage group of hackers in North Korea, and they recently hacked from Bybit, I believe is called. They took $1.5 billion from this exchange. So this exchange is like a Coinbase style exchange, and they keep their funds in a cold wallet, their liquidity that they don't use or whatever, which is what
like a ledger type thing?
Exactly, like that.
They hacked into that.
And they didn't hack into that. What they did was they put malware onto the person's computer. So when you
plugged it in,
when you use MetaMask or something, you know how you have to click sign off on something? Sure. So they created a false sign off page, and people were approving sign offs that worked there, thinking they're just approving a sign off for something simple, like a small amount, like 1 Bitcoin or something like that. And that's how they stole like $1.5 billion.
And that was North Korea that did that.
North Korea that did that. It is what it is. These people that have a crap ton are going to be major players in shaping the world and shaping the economy as things go forward. You know, someone as big as MicroStrategy with what they have, they will be the backing of the future monetary or financial system. Even people are saying jokingly, you know, how we spoke about AI, Elon Musk, they're sending a rocket to Mars with the AI robot Optimus on there. And if that mission is successful, they're saying by 2029, 2030, they'll send real humans to Mars. You can go.
That's pretty crazy.
$100,000 to get wild. There. And then the money that they're going to use on Mars will be crypto.
Bring it all home for them.
AI leading into crypto. You know, all of this put together, it's an exciting time. It's a very exciting time.
It's a game changer.
It's a game changer, and it's giving an opportunity. I've seen so many people in their 20s become multi-millionaires, and this bull run hasn't even fully began yet. And it's began, but it hasn't like gone like euphoria blow off top type of thing yet. And before that occurs, there's so many people that became multimillionaires. There's going to be a big transfer of wealth, old money to new money, and the younger population that are, involved in crypto, that are involved in, altcoins, that are involved in AI. They're going to be really taking advantage, and there's a massive opportunity. So I'm very excited for those of you guys that are out there. You know, if you're working a job or you're doing a side hustle, you're in entrepreneurship, I encourage you to do all the things that you can do to stack as much cash as you can, and use that cash to buy as much crypto as you can now, so you can really enjoy what's going to come in the next 6 to 8 months.
Boom. That's it.